Welcome to today's class. Today we're going to talk about basic adjustment in Photoshop. But also this is a core concept of using camera raw to enhance the workflow to get the best result using less time. So as the whole class or the whole channel, the goal is to achieve a faster operation in the digital software means more accurate and professional. So now we have a 10 picture here. So I will upload this picture for you to download it for practice. So once you get those image, you can have open this image, create a folder on your desktop or somewhere, and open Bridge to navigate to this folder. So you get the same view. To begin with, we're going to open those 10 pictures together, which will save a little bit of time. So let's do Command A. Once you have those image, hit the Command A. We'll select all in Bridge. Again, this is a Bridge. It's not Photoshop yet. Okay, so if you're open Photoshop, and you can using Command Option O to open Bridge interface and then navigate it to the folder as well. So you may hit a Return. So I just reset my Bridge. So this dialog window will ask you, are you sure you want to open 10 files? Yes. You may check this one if you're using your personal computer. But you may leave just like this. So just give you a reminder that, in case you accidentally open 1,000 files. Okay. So hit OK. So we can open those image, and we can quickly navigate those images. So we'll start with the first one. So I want to introduce one way that I personally developed, but also wanted to share with you is the R and A mode. Okay, so to put it simple is Command Shift R first. Especially for landscape. Traditionally or back to many years ago, I will recommend using Bridge and directly using Command R to open camera raw. But now I kind of more recommended you directly open this image inside of Photoshop and then active camera raw control panel to do a more control. Why we do this? Because there are a more deep connection with camera raw and the Photoshop right now. So we can simply using Command Shift A to open it. And for all the layers, so you may see that it's currently I'm using camera raw a lot to enhance the workflow to make things fast and more accurate. But before that, for landscape, you want to using Command Shift R for the lens correction. So usually this will be a good option. So here's the interface. So let me just escape for that to do that one more time. So it's Command Shift R, Command Shift R. And then you can uncheck the Show Grid, so we can see the picture. From here, we just directly go to the custom setting. Usually for a landscape, you can try to remove the distortion. So which means go to the right hand side just a little bit. So click the text. We bring this one to right hand side just a little bit. So hit a P, tap a P to see the difference. Okay, to check the difference. So usually that would be digitally correcting your optical lenses. Okay, I think for this one it's very important to do a transform control because it's not very kind of like a balanced. So what we can do here is to change that angles. Okay, so we see this adjustment is better than the one you can see in camera raw. Okay, again, the final row is the visual look. You visually feel this image is right. Okay, so we can do some other control. Kind of like adjustment the vertical perspective. Okay, this one will automatically change the scale, so you don't have to worry about that. So once we got this, and then we can reveal those two, and when we hit the P for preview, you will see this is almost fix the finish the adjustment. So I'm gonna do a little bit more to make this more like a high-end aperture lenses. So usually they can do very good on correcting do the geometric distortion correction. So I think it's good now, and there's just a little bit of adjustment, a little bit more. Okay, so I think it's pretty good. So I hit OK. So this is almost there. So remember what I did is just Command Shift R. So now you are going to do is Command Shift A. So remember that Command Shift A is camera. Most of the time, that's we only need those two for the landscape image. So you don't have to using some traditionally levels, curves, all those things is unnecessary. So, but camera is kind of like a little bit complicated actually, because it have so many functions. So we will talk about some of this during when we do the following discussion. So first, I want you to try is auto. So the auto setting is very smart actually. Usually we don't believe as you may consider yourself a professional person. You may say I'm going to do the auto, but actually auto is good at beginning because the computer becomes smarter and smart after each version. So we should believe that. Okay. So and then for this one, usually the recommendation will be the latest things here. So the clarity is very good to show a relatively large group of local contrast, and the texture, in other words, is a larger version of a sharpening. Okay, so now we have some details here. Be a little bit careful of using dehaze, but definitely you should try to see is that if this one work. Actually, I will go to the opposite to open some details. Okay, so because there's actually too many details here. All right, so that I think is pretty good. And then next I will just do a final touch for the color. So I'm going to go to using color profile here and to see some color profile. So this one is called Artistic 02. It's under the artistic section. I think it's pretty nice. Sometimes you can do things dramatically. Okay, for example, this one you can kind of change it to this a little bit beyond the 100%, even beyond 100%. So a little bit dramatic, and then hit the close. And then once you finish this, you can then do the you can hit OK. All right, so it's quite an adjustment, and then continue to do the Command Shift A again. So this one will reset. We reset all the settings. Okay, so that feels like a new picture. So from here you can do the clarity. So you get the concept, right? So it's you're going to confirm the previous setting, and then they will give you a new beginning to give you the full range of a control. So you can from here we can enhance some texture and go do more like a black and lower a little bit of vibrance to give this kind of like a vintage photo feeling. Okay, I think I'm done with this one. Okay, I kind of like this effect. So let's go move to the next one. So the second page. So this picture is feels a little bit of the boring, the color, and also the balance maybe needed to adjustment a little bit. So follow the same work pattern. It will be Command Shift A, and we're gonna to adjustment this this balance. Okay, those horizontal. I'm going to try the horizontal change. So we see this one is like you hold a picture and they kind of like move at a certain angles to find a nice balance. Okay, so this way you can also remove some unnecessary details. I'm kind of like try to find this type of balance. Okay. All right, do a little bit of angles. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so we see this part actually being cropped a little bit. Okay, so in the real, in a more it really depends on certain situation. Sometimes you can do dramatically if you have a large enough picture. Okay, so but for this one, I think is pretty good. Okay, so let's hit OK. So for this one, the next step will be A, right? So Command Shift A. So we're back to the camera mode. Okay, hit auto. It's good. The auto is good, but we definitely will need enhance some all of those details here. But a little bit dramatic. You may notice this picture actually the original quality is not such high, not very high. So for this type of work, it will be nice to do two things. One is change it to black white. That will give you the good result. Because when you turn to black white, you have the option here for the noise reduction. So they were actually working pretty good. So we can increasing this, so they will give us quite a smooth, a little bit smooth details. All right, and then we'll go to here, change the clarity, texture, and also there's something we can do is add a little bit of greens. So to simulate the the film, and then let's see what we can do with this one. Okay, so then we go to the black white profile, and to see if any of this contrast, the pre-setting contrast that meet your expectation for this picture. Okay, I kind of like just this one. Also, you can do a dramatic. Most of the people, not kind of like not notice this one actually have the setting. You can definitely do things more than 100%. Okay, more than 100%. If you wanted something dramatic. Okay, I'm gonna lower this a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I think that's pretty much what we can do with this one. So we actually see the difference. Okay. Okay, so you can see that difference. So the one key for you to verify this change is F12. Okay, so you can use F12 and then Command Z to see before and after. Before and after. So let's go move forward. All right. So then this one is, again, I selected some kind of like quite a boring picture, but this one may need some crop the image. Okay. So, but before we do that, we still wanted to do the overall adjustment for balance this, the picture. So for landscape, anything like outer space, actually we should try to put all the picture you took, indoor or outdoor, and try to adjustment to the Command Shift R. So this is a lens adjustment to give you an opportunity to fix the mistakes. Okay, so Command Shift R. Okay, so we'll change that. Okay, so try to find where the point is. So this one actually have the string tool. So you can hit A to see to draw a line. So say this is will be the horizontal line. So yeah, we can see that actually give us some result, but it's not very helpful because this part feels a little bit not very balanced. So what we're going to do is I'm going to horizontally change the perspective to make the left portion a little bit more. Okay. All right, and I also want this one to be stand a little bit to change the vertical perspective. It's like a border, but we make this one more straight. Okay. All right, so we can hit a P to see the difference. A very good result. Okay, and also one tips is always you should try to remove distortion here to plus a little bit. Okay, so now hit OK. So we got this concept, and then we can crop this image. We can also do this one inside the camera. All right. Oh, I think this is actually, if you directly go move here, this does not give you that option. So you can do C, directly go to change that. So you can change the ratios to whatever the ratio you want. For example, 5:4. Okay. So we want to do quite a classical gallery fitting work. Okay. So try to just give you the chance to make the choice. Okay. And then we can hit OK. All right, so I might try to do a little bit of change. It's really I wanted to show that I'm going to do this picture. What I will do. Okay, so Command T, and then we're going to change this one to warp option, and just drag this part to bring this one up a little bit. So I want this part, the visual balance so a little bit, stronger, and this part could be lower a little bit. Okay, just very small change. All right, so confirm. All right, so then we can do, you still be able to move and do some fine tunes. I like this one to be here, and I have a small range of a move. Okay, but most move is I can do a lot of a move horizontally. All right, just go stay here. All right. So then the next will be Command Shift A. I will try to find this. Okay, so this is a new question, new problem, because this original crop, when we try to trim this picture, we didn't delete the extra pixels. So from here, you will say, I want the adjustment to be a perfect mode. What you can do is Command A, select all the layers, and hit Command J. So then you get a cropped picture. Okay, Command A, Command J. And then we'll do Command Shift A. So open this one so we get a perfect trim picture. So hit Auto. Okay, always start with Auto to save a little bit of time, enhance the texture, but at the same time you want to do take care about those details. Okay, clear T. Okay, and I think this one will also, most landscape picture will looks fantastic when you convert to black and white. So in this one we don't do the fully black and white. Maybe we'll just keep this color, but we'll give this one a little bit of color adjustment. Let's move to the split toning here, so we can give this a little bit color tone. Maybe just a little bit. Okay, in some mode we can go to give this one a black white, but also add a little bit of split toning here. So give this a highlight area, which means the gray, the wet area, some kind of like a warm orange tone, but also give the shadow a little bit negative, so the opposite side, like a blue, purple, but it's just a very Okay, and then we can balance this. So it's like quite an old photo. Okay, after that we can do a little bit of curve to make a stronger curve, you know. So on the second group here, so we can do the curve. So later we'll do, we'll introduce some my method. So you can just pick the strong contrast. I think it's doing pretty good. Okay, so final touch will be the highlight. So we want the highlight to be a little bit higher, and the black again to be a little bit lower, so which enhance the contrast. Okay, so when you hit out, you can also using P to preview that. So this is just quite an ordinary picture, but this one is more like an art and a little bit classical feeling of the picture. Okay, so hit OK. We're done with this one. All right, so this is very you know, it's like everybody's photo. It's very simple beach picture. So, but when you follow the same pattern, we can do something quite dramatic. So let's do Command-Shift-R. We're still using these, you know, lens correction to do some basic lens correction. Okay, and this is actually pretty good. There's nothing to do. It's quite balanced. So hit OK. Okay, so we do something more dramatically here. So we're gonna do, I wanted to start with color tone first. So we're gonna go to profile color, and I'm gonna go find some thing from those, for example, artistic, to find the color tone first. I think I kind of like this modern level 6, and I'm gonna enhance this. I like this how the adjustment the color, and then we're going to lower the exposure to give enough space, enough color back, the potential color back. Okay, so when you lower the exposure, you may find exposure is actually quite a smart things in camera roll. So you should try that, and lower the blacks. Let's see. Sometimes you have to try. And I think we need some dramatic change for the texture, because this one enhanced those, kind of like details. We wanted this footprint to be a little bit stronger. So let's go to the clarity. Okay, dehaze. So dehaze is quite a, like a HDR built in. So it's going to bring so many details in. So be very careful. If you like this kind of like very contemporary gallery style of documentary, photo work, just stop there. Okay. So, but in some way you say I wanted to do a very dramatic, and I just like HDR. So you can maximum HDR. Okay. Dehaze in some way is to pull the data back. Again, so you can do quite a dramatic one. I personally prefer this very simple low contrast version, but let's go move this one to a higher version. So I'll show you how to control it. You definitely want to go to black and white. Okay, so that's only a choice when you go that high. Then try to avoid the contrast, but more doing the white and the black. White and black, so that will make sure that you have quite high quality grayscales. Okay, also the same thing for the shadow. It's kind of like a balanced. Okay, so we give this the texture, clarity. Okay, so remember the technique we showing there. Okay, that's since we're changing it here, so we may need to do another black and white choice. I think I like this one, so hit OK. So we confirm again that the technique is you can do Command-Shift-A to reset everything to based on the current one, and we begin to do another level of enhancement. For example, you say I really want the dramatic, but the haze already 100%. I cannot clarity 100%. Everything is 100%. How can I do this? You can, of course, for for experimental thing, you can continue to do that. You can just confirm and then Command Shift A again to continue those things. Okay, I actually kind of like this very dramatic, very experimental feeling right now. So and again, you can also give this one a lens traction here. This one is vignetting, so we can give this one like a little bit darker corner feeling, and this one as well. So give this one a more dark corner reading, control here. So let's hit OK. So we can finish this one. So when we compare those two, is F12. This is the beginning. Okay, so that's what we got at the beginning. But now what we got is so dramatic. And of course, you can add colors. You can overlay colors. You can do some blend. But that's kind of like we can do it fast. Okay. So this one remind me think about the Stephen Jobs mention of the book Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish, the back cover. So I'm going to do maybe we'll go to that direction a little bit, vintage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep this one. So I'm going to not do any lens correction because I want this kind of like not professional fitting, non-professional fitting. So I will do Command Shift A directly. So sometimes you can directly go, you can hit auto. Auto is good. So we'll go to the vintage option here. So I think that's kind of like very similar to the one Steve Jobs mentioned. Okay, I think like this one. I wanted this one to be much stronger. Get close. And I will want the clarity to be stronger because that is old printing technique. So they will have that, high contrast. Okay, so I'll lower the exposure a little bit. It's kind of like slightly under exposure, that feeling. I just kind of like remember that picture, but not actually put it on the slide. So just have this kind of a feeling. I kind of like this result already. So to compare the one with the previous image is F12 and then Command Z. F12, Command Z. Definitely I like this version. Okay, so let's go move forward. So for this copy, it's just truly kind of like what we call the beautiful picture. Again, the beautiful picture is not the endless, the ultimate goal of a picture adjustment. Beautiful is not enough. So sometimes you need kind of like control to not very beautiful. Okay, not so beautiful. So this is the things we, as a photographer, will always learn how to control the degree to match the feeling when we take the picture. So for this one, and what we're gonna do is you follow this recommended workflow. So go to Command, using R first, Command Shift R first, and then balance a little bit. Okay, find a nice adjustment, hit OK. I think I already think it's good. So then next we're going to do Command Shift A. So auto is good. But this one definitely the vibrance or the color saturation is too strong. So I'm going to lower the saturation. The saturation is is too much. Okay, so once you lower this, you immediately find this is not that technically beautiful, but is more professional and make the people feels good. Okay, so at this the current stage, what you can do is just enhance the clarity and the texture just a little bit, and then find a nice style here to kind of match your feeling of this thing. Okay, so that will be just a little bit of touch. Okay, I kind of like let's see. I kind of like this one, but I think it's too strong, so I'm going to lower the amount just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna hit the P to kind of verify. Okay, I'm using a Artistic 02, but also you can just go modern. There are so many options. So hit OK, close this. And I like this one to be a little bit over, lower the exposure a little bit. So sometimes a lower exposure will provide a very interesting, very smooth, beautiful grayscale of the whole thing. So at this time, when you see the picture, it's not that vivid, okay, but sky still looks pretty nice. So all the colors just red amount of ingredients is not so much. It's not only 40 outputs, right? So I think that will be a good choice for this picture. So let's compare those two. F12. Okay, it looks nice picture, but it's definitely not a good picture. So this one have more details and a well balanced color. Okay, so I think this is a good option. Let's go move 10 to the next. Okay, so for this picture, we may need to do some lens correction first. So Command Shift R, and then go to the customize settings here. Can do some adjustment. So definitely you can do a little bit of dramatic. Okay. So that will actually change and correct this whole picture. Okay, so when you preview that, that makes this looks more kind of like a professional. And the horizon lines, it feels okay. So, but it would just very, this is nothing changes. So that's actually pretty good. So let's hit OK. So actually we have one two adjustment in the command option R. That will be the vertical. Okay, so I want to give this one a negative number, a little bit negative number. So it's like a move this image a little bit, stand up. Okay, so hit OK. All right, Command Shift A. You may see the things. It's kind of like repeat some steps, because those steps is all good step. So we don't need 10 different steps. But we need one that is based on the current technology or techniques or the software function, which can give us the best combinations or better solutions for those pictures. So we need repeated. So that's also the concept of this channel. We need to find the best solution, and then we do 10 times or even 100 times to keep practice this one. But at the same time, so we change the ingredients, so give you continually challenge. That finally you get the good concept, and you really learn the knowledge, not learn the certain technique. You got the knowledge. So a knowledge you can generate a new solution and knowledge. Okay, so all right, so that just looks pretty good. I also wanted to go add a little bit more. Why not this one? So artistic. Okay, so close here, hit OK. So do a very just a little bit final touch is once I create this one and apply this effects, I'm going to do Command Shift A. Again, bring back, do a little bit touch for the black points. Okay, and increasing a little bit clarity. So it's like you created the main structure, you strengthened the main structure. So just a little bit. So when you compare with this one, just very slightly difference, but the whole image become much more clear and looks professional. Okay. All right, so let's move to next. So this one we may need to do some HDR control. So that means we'll talk about the dehaze. I'm not sure this one that you have will have so many, you know, the background details. But let's try this. So Command Shift. So I think the lens correction part, it's okay. We don't need to do more of this one. So just do Command Shift A, and then we'll start with auto. And we change the dehaze a little bit. We'll see there's some elements there, okay, but it's not very good at information. So I would go. All right, let's verify this information. I don't think it's a good, information. So I would just kind of keep this. So for this, this picture, the concept would be enhance a little bit color. Okay, do a little bit of contrast. See the contrast. Okay, it's like the give a little bit effects, green. Okay. There are not so many things we can do here. Also, I wanted to add some control layers. For example, this type of layer, so you can do a little bit of different control settings for each side. So, for example, I can bring the sky a little bit back, a little bit, but it's not feeling is very good for this one. So I might just keep this one here. So if you feel the picture is quite a challenge, and you may just go to using the default setting, okay, and you can just go to most of the time the black white will turn a very good result for those challenging image. So for example, this one can go darker. Then we can lower this one. Actually, that could be a good result, a good way to do it. Increasing the highlight. So to make it this a little bit high contrast image. So if you turn to black white, you may get some range that you can using dehaze. Yeah, I kind of like using, so this one, that's the only solution, I think. If there's no limitation to using black and white, we should go that direction, okay? So there definitely have some, tiny details needed to fix and smooth, but there's some Photoshop work, okay? All right, let's move to the next. Okay, that's quite a colorful one, and also need some crop image. So think about the step is you do Command Shift R, and adjustment, some remove distortions. Okay, so enhance some details. I hit OK. Okay, and hit C. I still like the 4x5. Okay, so it's a very classical, a large format. Fitting. So make your work looks much quite a professional. So let's see, I'm just go to confirm it, and I just change it this way to find a nice composition here. Yeah, I put this wall close to this corner. I find it's very interesting. So that's kind of like my solution. Let me just move a little bit. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is Command Shift A. Okay, well again the techniques I mentioned earlier. So it's Command A, Command J, and Command Shift A. So then you got this result. Hit OK, hit Auto. Okay, and the clarity, good. So this is actually print quality already. So if you're going to print, you can enhance a little bit of vibrance. So the trigger a little bit more color, and other than that, it's a pretty standard enhancement. But one recommendation for this situation is you're always going to go to find this profile. It's actually pretty good. Give you some color. The way to think about a color. Okay, so I found that the artistic 02 is always a pretty nice option. So kind of like I like the color tone there. So I'm going to enhance this a little bit. Okay, so make the black a little bit stronger to hold the whole image. Hit OK. All right. Okay. So I think this is the last picture. So for the 10 picture challenge, we want to do this one, this type of work. Also do the Command Shift R, and we're going to actually do a little bit more about this. Okay, so it kind of like a little bit balanced that, so you will see the thing. So we're kind of like just working on those two trees, but not that too dramatic. I'm going to do plus 18, and also this one to be negative 8, or even just negative 4. I went a negative 5. Okay. So let's see what I can do with this. Okay, I think it's pretty good. Okay, nice adjustment. So this one, the following, that will be pretty easy. So Command Shift A, auto. Nice. Okay, clarity. So when you see the clarity, it actually brings this image to feels more professional. Okay, so and you can add a little bit of sharpening, just a little bit. Okay, you want to do Command 1 when you do the sharpening, so don't hurt the details. Okay, other than that, you can increase those numbers. And finally, we just go to the color touch. Okay, so I'm going to find a different one. Let's go modern. Okay, there's quite a lot more options. I want to give this one a little bit, stronger fitting. So the modern one looks pretty nice, but I'm lower a little bit of this color effects, and bring back a little bit of blacks, shadows, because the original image is a little bit too dark. Okay, so now I kind of like this fitting of that picture. So hit OK. So you can use F12 and then Command Z to see the difference. F12, Command Z. Okay. So for the whole series of image, whole series of things, we do 10 different pictures. We talk about the main control and recommended steps. So I will have this 10 picture available for you to download. And please do the practice. Again, you may do 3 of this image, and you say, I already got the point. Okay, I already know that I was, if this is the landscape, I will do Command Shift R and Command Shift A, and but complete this 10. Okay, at a certain time you will see you seems to know a lot of things, but completed 10 times. So it's the core concept. It's based on my many years of teaching digital softwares and try to find new solutions. I always find in the classroom, if you're interested in one technique or knowledge, you should do 10 times. Okay, so it's not say there's no always advanced thing. It's the knowledge, the experience you get through those 10 times practice. So 10 times fast, that's will be the concept. We do things more times, and then we get this one faster and faster, and then without thinking it. So if you don't have to thinking anything to enhance the picture, and finally you are creating new solutions because you just do the previous one very intuitively. Okay, enjoy the process. I think that's a fine process.